The closing moments of Materialists bring the film to an emotionally surprising yet narratively grounded place. A city hall wedding that contrasts sharply with the glamorous, high stakes world the protagonist has navigated throughout. In a recent interview, writer director Celine Song offered rare insight into why she chose to end her film this way, and why the simple, bureaucratic setting says more about love and authenticity than any penthouse or gala ever could. For much of the film, the main character moves through relationships that are transactional, polished, and filled with quiet power struggles. These romantic entanglements, often fueled by wealth, image, and convenience, reflect a world where intimacy can feel like a calculated exchange. But the City Hall scene disrupts that pattern. It strips everything down to its most basic elements: two people, a judge, and a legal commitment. No designer dresses, no imported flowers, no curated guest lists. It's stark, unadorned, and most importantly, real. Celine Song explained that this contrast was entirely intentional. "I wanted the ending to feel like a choice that wasn't performative," she said. "So much of the character's life is performance, not just for others, but for herself. The City Hall wedding is the opposite of that. It's the moment she stops performing." This change isn't just about where the wedding takes place. It's also about what the main character gives up. In choosing a small, practical ceremony, she's rejecting a life dictated by aesthetics and external validation. She's embracing something messier, more uncertain, but also more rooted in genuine connection. For Sam, the aesthetic of the wedding wasn't merely symbolic, it was cinematic strategy. "When you take away the spectacle, all that's left is feeling," she explained. "And that's terrifying. But it's also the truth. When you put two people in that kind of space, there's nowhere to hide. No distractions." That vulnerability is what Song wanted to capture. She was less interested in crafting a grand romantic climax and more concerned with the quiet shock of emotional honesty. There's nothing more radical in a world of materialism than emotional transparency, she said. The location also plays into larger questions the film poses about value. Throughout Materialists, we watch characters assign worth to objects, people, and even moments, based on market logic. But the City Hall scene subverts that idea. There's no prestige in getting married there. It doesn't elevate one's social standing. It doesn't even cost much. And yet, within the context of the story, it becomes the most meaningful scene. Value, Song argued, shouldn't be determined by how rare or expensive something is. Emotional sincerity is rare. Vulnerability is rare. That's where the real value is. There's also a subtle gender commentary in the way the ending plays out. As Song pointed out, many romantic dramas place the female protagonist in a passive role at the end, waiting to be chosen, rescued, or validated. But in Materialists, the female lead is the one making the final decision. She initiates the wedding. She chooses the venue. She redefines what commitment looks like on her own terms. She's not being swept off her feet, Song noted. She's planting them firmly on the ground. This groundedness is key. Song doesn't romanticize the choice. The couple doesn't walk into a perfect future. They're not guaranteed happiness, but they're making the choice to start from a place of equality and honesty, rather than fantasy. That's the radical hope of the ending, Song said. It's not about being perfect for each other. It's about deciding to try, with everything you really are, not just what you present to the world. Interestingly, Song also revealed that earlier versions of the script had a more elaborate ending. One draft included a lavish destination wedding meant to parody the extremes of elite culture. Another featured a breakup followed by years apart. But those versions never sat right. They felt clever, but they didn't feel earned, she admitted. The City Hall ending felt quiet, but emotionally loud. It felt truthful. For a film that critiques the illusion of control, especially in love, the City Hall wedding becomes a fitting final note. It's about surrender. It's about humility. And maybe most of all, it's about acceptance of imperfection, of risk, of each other. Song summarized it simply. It's not the ending you expect, but it's the one she needed. The final image of Materialists lingers. No dramatic kiss, no sweeping score. Just paperwork, a handshake, and the sound of doors opening behind them. It's anticlimactic by traditional standards, yet quietly seismic. In an era of overproduced romances and performative vulnerability, Celine's song's ending offers something startlingly rare. A love story grounded in truth, not spectacle.